Hello students, today we are going to start with the first chapter of 10th class chemistry, chemical reactions and equations. From this chapter you can expect activity based questions, definitions, balancing of equation question. This one will be a sure question, balancing of the equation. Then you can expect conversion of word equation to chemical equation type question, as well as you can expect some word problems based on this chapter. As soon as we start teaching chemistry, most of the students complain that chemistry is full of reactions and we are not able to get the command over the reactions. So in this chapter, we will be discussing lots and lots of reactions in a new way. We will study easy tricks to remember these equations. Okay, let us begin. There are two types of changes around us. These changes are physical change and chemical change. This we have studied in our lower classes that physical changes are those changes which are temporary and they are reversible. We can bring the original substance back. Whereas the chemical changes are those which are permanent and these are irreversible. In this chapter, we are going to study basically about the chemical change. Why? Because it is the chemical change that can be brought about by a chemical reaction. So I can say a chemical reaction will lead to formation of chemical change. So how can we define a chemical reaction? A chemical change in which new chemical substances with new properties are formed. Chemical change, new substance and with new properties. These words are important and this exactly represents what a chemical reaction is. So in this chapter we are going to discuss what are the various types of chemical reaction, how we will come to know that whether a reaction has occurred, how we can write the reaction and all other things related to chemical reaction. A reaction will be always associated with some or the other characteristic. By looking at the test tube, we must be able to identify whether the reaction has occurred in that particular test tube or not. For example, if I carry out the reaction of zinc with dilute H2SO4, zinc sulfate is formed and hydrogen gas will be evolved. So I can say the very first characteristic is the evolution of gas. So a reaction can be characterized by evolution of gas. One more example is like when calcium carbonate is heated, it gives calcium oxide and carbon dioxide as a gas is released. Now based on this topic you can expect question. The example is given to you and you are supposed to identify the characteristic, or the characteristic is given to you and you are supposed to give the example. Let us take one more example. Suppose I carry out the reaction of iron with copper sulfate. It gives ferrous sulfate and copper is deposited. Ferrous sulfate is green in color and copper sulfate is blue in color. Chemistry is all about colors and odors. And in this chapter we are going to discuss so many reactions where we will observe a lot of color changes. So what will be the next characteristic? Next characteristic is the change in color. Like if I mix two solutions in a test tube, if the color of the new substance formed is changed, we can predict that a reaction has occurred in the test tube. In our next example, we can see that the reactants, they are in the gaseous form and the product is in the liquid form. So we can say the next characteristic of the reaction is change in state, physical state. In our next reaction, the example is when calcium oxide is mixed with water, we get a solution of calcium hydroxide, and along with that lot of heat is evolved. So we can say the next characteristic is change in temperature. Either the temperature of the test tube increases or it lowers down. For example, in this case, the temperature of the test tube increases, therefore it will be called as exothermic reaction. Exo means out, thermic means heat. So all those reactions in which heat is given out, they are called as exothermic reaction. Sometimes the test tube temperature, it lowers down also. For example, when barium chloride is treated with ammonium sulfate, we get the white color precipitate of barium sulfate, and along with that ammonium chloride is formed. This ammonium chloride lowers down the temperature of the test tube and therefore it is endothermic reaction. Endo means in. So the reactions where the heat is absorbed, in those reactions the temperature of the test tube lower down, and that is called as endothermic reaction. Now in this reaction there is one more characteristic, that is the formation of precipitate. What do we mean by precipitate? It is an insoluble substance. A reaction may show one or more than one type of characteristic in a given example. One example is already here, barium chloride plus ammonium sulfate giving the white color precipitate of barium sulfate. One more example, lead nitrate when treated with potassium iodide gives lead iodide and potassium nitrate. The lead iodide formed is a yellow colored precipitate. The word precipitate can be written in the short form PPT. So all these are the characteristic of reaction. By observing this characteristic, we can say that whether a chemical reaction has occurred or no. In all these examples, we have seen that all these examples include either formation of bond or cleavage of a bond, so as to form the product. Now what do you mean by product and what do you mean by reactant? Now the reactants means the substance that undergoes chemical change. Whereas the product means the new substance formed along with new properties. The reactant can be either element or compound. Similarly, the product can be either element or any compound. For example, magnesium reacts with oxygen to give magnesium oxide. One more example, iron reacts with copper sulfate to give ferrous sulfate and copper. Now in this case, magnesium and oxygen or iron and copper sulfate, these will be called as reactants as they are undergoing the chemical change. Magnesium oxide, ferrous sulfate and copper, they will be called as products, as these are the new substances formed with new properties. The arrow, This arrow is pronounced as gives as. Gives to. So how do we verbally represent this reaction? Magnesium reacts with oxygen. The symbol of plus, it says reacts with. So magnesium reacts with oxygen and gives to, or to give, magnesium oxide. Iron reacts with copper sulfate to give ferrous sulfate and copper. The symbol of plus in the product side can be written, it can be pronounced as and or along with. Like I can say, iron reacts with copper sulfate to give ferrous sulfate along with copper. So this is how we will say a chemical reaction. But every time it becomes difficult to write the words of the compounds or the elements in case of reactants or in case of product, and therefore we symbolize the reaction with the help of chemical equation. So what is a chemical equation? It is a brief method of representing a chemical reaction with the help of symbols and formulas of reactants and products involved in it. Like the first reaction can be represented in the form of equation Mg plus O2 giving MgO. This reaction is not balanced, so I will balance it. About the balancing, we will be discussing in our next video. The second reaction can be represented as iron plus copper sulfate gives ferrous sulfate along with copper. So a reaction is always represented with the help of a chemical equation. Now these chemical equations seems to be incomplete. We can make these chemical equations more informative. So our next topic is how to make the equation more informative. The first one, by mentioning physical state of reactant and product, those which are involved in the reaction. For example, hydrogen is in the gaseous form, oxygen is in the gaseous form, it gives water which is a liquid. So in this we are representing the physical state of all the reactants and products. One more, iron reacts with water which is in the form of gas. That means solid iron reacts with steam so as to give Fe3O4 which is again in the solid form along with hydrogen which is in the gaseous form. The second method by which we can make equation more informative is by putting an arrow pointing upward like this, but only when the product is gaseous. That means the product formed is in the form of gas. Like zinc reacts with dilute H2SO4 to give zinc sulfate which is in the solid form, and hydrogen is released in the form of gas. One more example, sodium reacts with water. Here sodium is in the solid form and water is in the liquid form to give aqueous sodium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas is released. You can see we have used different terms like dilute, we have used liquid, we have used the word aqueous, sometimes we will be using the word concentrated also. So use of all these terms will make the equation more informative. Another way of making the equation more informative is by putting an arrow which is pointing downward. And this is used when the product is formed in the form of a precipitate. Since it is an insoluble substance, it settles down. Since it settles down, we represent it in the form of arrow pointing downward. Like barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate to give barium sulfate, which is a white color precipitate. We will write arrow pointing downward, along with NaCl is formed. Now barium chloride is in aqueous state. Sodium sulfate is also in aqueous state. One more example which we have already discussed, that lead nitrate, which is in aqueous state, reacts with potassium iodide, which is also aqueous, to give the yellow colored precipitate. Since it's a precipitate, we will point it downward, along with formation of potassium nitrate. The last point by which we can make our equation more informative is by mentioning the reaction conditions like temperature, catalyst pressure, etc. Like nitrogen, which is in the gaseous form, when it reacts with hydrogen gas to give ammonia. The reaction conditions like temperature 773 Kelvin, the use of catalyst like iron, molybdenum, and the pressure near about 200 to 900 atmosphere. We will mention all these reaction conditions but on the arrow. That you have to remember. All these reaction conditions will be mentioned on the arrow. One more example, like hydrogen reacts with chlorine to give hydrogen chloride, but the reaction takes place in the presence of ultraviolet light. So whatever the condition is there that is required to complete the reaction, like the use of catalyst, temperature, specific pressure, that will be always mentioned on the arrow. So what is the summary of this topic? That we can make our equation completely informative by mentioning their physical states, by putting the arrow in the upward direction or downward direction depending on whether the product formed is gas or a reactant, and by mentioning the reaction conditions on the arrow. So in today's video we have studied all the basic concepts related to chemical reaction and how we can represent a chemical reaction with the help of a chemical equation. In our next video we will be discussing various types of chemical reaction. Thanks for joining me. Have a nice day.